Hostage negotiations suck. 3 Israelis, and I'm very happy for them, were released yesterday. Emily, Duran, and Romy. Thank God they're out of the Gaza Strip and released by Hamas. They were released yesterday. Today is Inauguration Day in about an hour in the United States, in Washington, D.C. And let's look at that over here. And let's look now at Israel, right here by the Mediterranean Sea. They all appear to be in decent health, thank God. The 3 of them. One had 2 fingers that were missing because 2 of them were taken out of their apartments. One lived in a kibbutz, forcibly removed 471 days ago, and another was taken out of her house. And then another of the hostages was taken from the concert, to see if all of the Americans are released by the end of these 42 days. Or are these 2 the only ones that are truly still alive? And I'm going to tell you why this deal really stinks. Although it may have been the only deal that could have been had. That you can see, first of all, that Hamas is still in control of the Gaza Strip. Looking yesterday at the videos, they're there and they're on top of the van when these people are being released to the Red Cross in Gaza. And they have to get on top of the van because the people there, the Palestinians, want to attack the Israeli hostages. They have to go up with their guns and make sure that those people are not attacked, because they knew that if this deal didn't go through, there would be all hell to be paid. These 3 had to be released. What this also shows are the Palestinians are still behind Hamas even today, after 15 months of being, I guess, not obliterated enough. Let's be honest. I don't know how they have any homes left after all the bombings, but I guess some of them do. Whether it's in the north, the central, or the south of Gaza, it's that very small area, the Gaza Strip. However, they still support Hamas. There were children chanting, "Wipe out the Jews," yesterday, after these hostages, the first 3 were released. They are not anti-Hamas, the Palestinians there. I'm sorry, there's no other way to say it. They support them. They have that ideology, and they're not giving it up. They're not giving it up. So Israel has a couple of choices here. First is, obviously, with the hostages, get as many back as you possibly can. And hopefully they get all of their hostages back. Now, it was only going to be 33 or maybe 23 that were still alive in these first 6 weeks. And obviously for the president-elect, soon to be the president now, or Donald Trump, to get all the Americans out. But after that, a decision's going to have to be made of what's going to happen. It's going to be interesting because you can't leave Hamas as the military force that governs the Gaza Strip. Does Israel have to go in there itself and govern the Gaza Strip? Because this can't happen again. There can't be an October 7th again with 1,200 people being killed in one day and hostages being taken like they were. There were goals set up by Benjamin Netanyahu at the beginning of this war. One was to defeat Hamas. The second goal was that Hamas would never again be in charge, govern the Gaza Strip. Does it have to be, or could it be, the leaders in the West Bank also controlling the Gaza Strip? I don't know. I don't know. And the third goal was going to be to obviously get the hostages back, the ones that are still alive. What Israel and the United States care most about are the people that were taken. I mean, it's horrible. A lot of these hostages have obviously been killed or are dead, but the ones who are alive, we value them. We value life. Israel does, the United States does. We want these hostages back. Now, is it at all costs? Well, Israel is going to be releasing 90 Palestinian, let's call them terrorists, because a lot of them are. A lot of them are responsible for the deaths of many Israelis. And they're going back to Gaza. Not only that, during this time there's a ceasefire which is in effect now. So Israel is pulling out of those populated areas. That is happening. And food trucks, and there seem to be hundreds of them if you look at it on video. I mean, large trucks full of food. And don't think these are all going to the Palestinian people. These food trucks, and they're large and they're full of pallets of food, are going to these Hamas fighters. Now, my theory, and I think it's obvious, is that the Hamas fighters are not just in the tunnels. They're being housed by the Palestinians in their own homes, and they're supported by them. So they're not malnourished. And if you saw the videos, these Hamas fighters don't look malnourished. If they're able to climb up on vans with their guns, they're in pretty decent shape. So the goals have not been achieved as of yet, not one of them. So what is going to happen after these 6 weeks? That is really the million-dollar question, because Israel will still not have all of its hostages back, and we're going to have to find out, and there's going to have to be a proof of life for Donald Trump, and you don't have to be a Jewish person. I am, living in the United States. You don't have to be a Jewish person to want these hostages back. As Americans, we want all of our hostages back. Is that third person still alive? And if they don't produce that that person's still alive, we either have to presume that there are only 2 Americans still alive, or we have to send in, as Americans, and Donald Trump is going to have to do this, our own either SEAL team or Delta Force or whatever we have, Texas Rangers. Maybe they'll have to be Texas Rangers going into the Gaza tunnels or wherever they have to go to try to get this living person out. So whatever has to happen, we have to try to get anyone still alive, and Israel has to try to get anyone still alive, but it can't go on forever. Hamas is buying time, and they get to regroup now for these 42 days, but they cannot be allowed to regroup for the next 42 years, not governing the Gaza Strip. They have to be removed one way or the other. What I think has to happen, at least for a little while, is that after this phase 1, if the rest of the hostages are not released, they have to try to go in and get them. We're not going to be held hostage by that, and neither is Israel. to try to get the people still alive, try to get them. So you have to try to get them. And at that point, Israel has to, at least for a little while, take over the Gaza Strip until there can be a governing body that Israel can live with, that won't attack it tomorrow. Do I think that this is the end of hostilities, or will be, even if they get rid of Hamas, the end of hostilities between the Palestinians living in the Gaza Strip, and you can include the West Bank in that, and Israel? No. This goes back thousands of years. So you're going to have kind of a truce for a while, but that can only happen, and there's a truce now for these 42 days, but a real truce can only happen that would last tens of years, hopefully, with Hamas gone. So that's my opinion. If you're part of the Jewish community, yesterday was a good day. We got 3 Israelis out of there, out of the Gaza Strip, and we need to get, of course, as many as humanly possible. That's it for today. It is Inauguration Day in the United States. In an hour, Donald Trump will be the president. Joe Biden will be leaving, and on with getting the rest of the hostages, and good luck to them. Let's get as many as possible out of, honestly, the hellhole they're in. That's it for this episode, but remember, history happens every day.